All right. Hello, everybody. I'm Brian. This is Amy News and Conversation. We're here at day 3 of Kilmer 2025 in Orlando, Florida. And Nupur over here, Nupur Jain, gave a presentation that I think really represents a surprising topic at this conference that a lot of people have been talking about, which is artificial intelligence. Now, this is a sterility assurance conference. We're talking about sterilization in industry. What the heck does AI have to do with any of that?
Yeah, I know. AI is changing the world, and it will also change our world in sterility assurance. AI is going to be used to increase efficiency, drive decision making, and enable innovation. And that's what we do in sterility assurance every day. We all do those three things. And so applying AI in sterility assurance is the future. And it is especially important because over the years, we have decades of really good data, and we can now use that data to make decisions or use that data to say, I can improve my cycles, my sterilization cycles, I can reduce the time. So, all this is the time to use AI in sterility assurance.
I love that you mentioned data because 10 years ago, I'm working as a science journalist, and all I hear people talking about is big data, big data, big data. We're very excited. We have the technology to get more information. And then they all sit there and go, well, this is a lot of data to work with now. Yes, it's big data, and it becomes something of a problem. There's a bottleneck. Uh, is AI helping us overcome that bottleneck? Is it changing how application of the data is being used?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I opened the session on AI, but one of the presentations in the session was Dan from Baxter.
Mm.
And he showed how he used 10 years of sterilizer data that they have, was able to analyze it and show when there was a process drift, which is really critical because you don't want your sterilizers to have any downtime.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
more importantly, in the world of sterility assurance, we're required to do requalifications and revalidations, and those cost a lot of time, cost a lot of money. And if you can show your process is solid, it has the right CPK values, using, data analysis and analyzing every single sensor that you have, you can eliminate these requalification and revalidation requirements,
Oh,
right? So
yeah.
if you can control your drift, if you can predict your drifts, why do these redundancy activities? And I really enjoyed his presentation for that reason, is using data to really drive efficiency.
All right, a good shout out for Dan Baxter, but let's talk about your presentation because you've now mentioned one application of AI. Me some other examples. Are there any that you're particularly excited about in the sterilization field?
There's a lot I can. There's a lot of them.
We have time.
Yes. Um, the one that comes to mind is using data to drive decisions early.
Hmm.
In particular, I think one I want to highlight is how do we say certain designs are going to be effective? And what Tara presented on was a good example, a good first step on that, right? She's like, well, I can create an algorithm to say, hey, these design features might actually be more difficult. And having them be more difficult will not help you further in the design process.
This is Tara Kramer's
That's her
presentation. Yeah.
presentation. Exactly. Now you can build from that algorithm and say, okay, can I use AI? Can I use machine learning to
Hmm.
then build up on it and say, actually, no, wait, it's going to be okay. Um, so I think that's one great example.
Yeah.
Sterilant modeling is another really good one that could be done using AI and then machine learning to it. Um,
Well, let me ask you this then. We gave the example of data, of course, but why is, I guess, fundamentally machine learning going to be so helpful for improving processes and all that? What makes it particularly useful here?
I think the biggest use here is the reduction in cost that it can
Hmm.
offer, right? You don't need to spend time to do feasibility studies or experimental tests anymore.
Repetitive labor.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
It really eliminates that waste. And not just waste in people's time,
Mm.
but also just time to run these tests. At a minimum, some of these tests are like a week long.
Sure.
And if you can make them an hour long, great.
That's huge.
It is huge. So I think there's some major advantages it could provide
All right.
here.
Are there any concerns though? Is I something we hear about quite a lot is if you work with ChatGPT, you'll occasionally get what they call hallucinations,
That's right.
right? ChatGPT says something that I never even told you that. What's going on? Is there a concern about that with putting this in sterility assurance?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's two big concerns that come to mind. Of course, there's a lot of concerns with using AI.
Mhm.
The two big ones I want to highlight is one, high quality data.
Yeah.
You don't have good data, you don't have clean data, you're not going to get good answers. And the second one I also had in my presentation I highlighted was actually a comic from xkcd.com.
Oh, I love them.
I do too. I really do. My daily dose of happiness. But xkcd.com had a really great comic on how if you do not know what you're doing with AI,
Hmm.
you will just have a bad problem. And maybe you make the problem worse, but your problem does not go away just because you use the word AI in it. And then verifying and validating your AI is also going to be super important. So I think those are the two big concerns: high quality data, clean data, and did you validate the model that you've just created? Is it a reliable tool?
Do you have any recommendations or best practices for people saying I want to start thinking about working AI into my own processes?
Yeah, I think the first step is start to learn what is AI. I think that's probably the
This is
first good
baseline. That's okay.
is, hey, what is AI? I have it at my home today.
Mhm.
What are examples of it? Play around with some systems. ChatGPT is a great one. I think everyone plays around with that one.
Yeah.
There's some great, chat bots, or I think learning how to use them at first and then seeing how it's applicable to different fields within sterility assurance is a great step. Everybody, there is so much creativity in the space
Yeah.
that is open for grabs, right? That is up for grabs right now. And that's where we can start here.
Awesome. And honestly, it feels like we did start here today during Kilmer just because so many people are talking about this. Ideas are being shared, the collaboration. I guess that's what this is all about. I don't want to keep you from that. So thank you
Thank
once
you so
again,
much.
Nupur Jain, for coming down and talking to me today, and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you so much, Brian.